we may start, yes. First of all, I would like to make some small introduction. Dear students, dear colleagues, today we have visiting a lecture from our good partner, M.Kom University, Indonesia, Central Java. And let me introduce Professor Marastika Wicaksono AG Bawono. And today's topic is Mechatronics in era of digital transformation. So, Mr. Marastika, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, sure, Mr. Dnipro.
Oh, okay, I think we may start.
Okay, thank you so much.
If you are ready, you may run your presentation, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dnipro, for the greeting. And then I know the Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and can you hear me? Thank you for so much for dear Controller of the Rector M.Kom University, Dr. Joseph M.Kom, and the staff, the Mrs. Novita, the Controller of the Rector Oles, the Honchar, Dnipro National University, Ukraine. Thank you for the opportunity at this the seminar. I will share knowledge about the mechatronic for in the digital transformation. Allow me to introduce my now share screens. Okay, in mechatronic in digital in this Indonesians. I know that is my profile and is my profile in my full name is the Marastika Bawono. And I know my study is the associate degree information management from Jakarta, and next the bachelor degree master of management magister of information technology in Swiss University, and my job is in the Telkom Satelit Indonesia as a job. The job description is the revenue assurance, then lecture practitioner, the Universitas Telkom, and the assessor BPT Kominfo. This is the phone number and email you can save. I know I share the book for the book and in this chat for this presentation for the link for the material presentations, and then the about the earlier introduction of mechatronics and the sensor positioning, sensor potential VDT, incremental encoder, and the temperature sensor, and then the flow sensor, automatic, and actuator, and the stepper motor. What is the mechatronic? Mechatronic is the synergistic combination of the mechanical and and the programming and the software engineering, and it is important in the industry. The purpose of the interdisciplinary engineering, mechatronics, system formation, and the programming and the automation for the engineering perspective, and the behavior and in the behavior in the digital era. Then propose the controlling advanced hybrid system such as the production system, synergy drive, the planetary rovers, automotive system, anti-block system, and spin. The word mechatronic, the Mr. Tetsora Maria. This is the reference. And now I know my video is about the project with example mechatronic with Arduino in Indonesians. You can saw it. And I think what I know the share. Okay, you can saw the project Mechatronics, and this for the plate up, the plate up for this. Okay, and do with adrenaline order. You can go up to this mechatronic contamination sample small. This is the sample of the floor, cleaning the tools for your home. Okay, and now this is the Arduino with the project with samples. You can make the components and the plastic light in the description for the wheel. The bottle for the rubbish. Sorry, for the rubbish, and then this is the programming at the Arduino the programming part. It's the programming with the Arduino. The component.
Aji.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, continue. It's okay.
Okay. Ya, Mrs. Novita.
Enggak, itu kan tadi Pak Aji nyetel video, cuma waktu jelasin suaranya kurang besar, jadi pada nggak dengar.
Oke, thank you.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just the you can now the project video, and this is the project Arduino. You can the flow, the making the project Arduino, the sample example for the use case in this the Indonesians for the cleaning, for the rubbish, and your home for the garbage cleaning for the at the home. And then this you can show my presentation now. Okay, Mechatronics is the system, mechanical system, microcontroller, computer, and the electronic system. Yeah, this is the integration for the area. Then there's a framework for my reference for the mechatronic system in this. I know that you are now for the area diagram for the web for the mechatronic, and this the mechatronic engineers united the principle of mechanic, electronic, and computing to generate a simpler, more the economical and reliable system. This is the reference the Tetsuri Mori. This is the framework for the senior engineer Japanese, and the engineering cybernetics deals with the questions of the control, the engineering. And this the through the collaboration mechatronic module perform the production in goal the flexible and agile manufacturing properties and productions. And then okay, next. Okay. This is the domain of the mechatronic, automotive, aerospace, home appliance, manufacturing system, medical appliance, defense application, future for the mechatronic, and we'll discuss at the end. Basic element of the typical mechatronic system continue. Mechanical system with the sensor, the integration, the actuator, integration, applying the electronic data acquisition system. Just the the basic element mechatronic in these are the 5 the basic elements: physical system modeling, signal and system, computer and logic system, software and data acquisitions, sensor and actuators. This is the important for the basic element. Okay, you know that mechanical in system model is actuator is you are now saw the video, the solenoid and the voice coils, DC motors, stepper, servo, and then the hydraulic. This is the component the actuator, and then the sensor the component the Arduino, switches, the potentiometers, photoelectronic, the encoder, strain gauge, thermocouple, and accelerometer. And then for the input signal, the continuation and the interfacing, and this creates the circuit and the filter, the ampere, integrated in digital control, the architecture, logic circuit, PCB, PLC, logic and automatic. Now output signal, the conditioning, and then the interfacing, the amplifier, the power transistor, and the power amps, graphical display, LED, center. Okay, why the mechatronic advanced and the limitation of the mechanical system, advanced and the limitation electronic system and role computer. The physical modeling in the mechanic of the solid, the sum, the transolenoid and rotation system, food system and electronic automatic systems, chemical process, micro, nano, and this is the growth for the mechatronic system, the develop for the flop, and then the signal and system respond for the electronic system, or with the locus method, frequency and response method, and digital and analog filter, and then the control, intelligence control, optimal control, and then the sensor and actual. You know that the translational and rotational sensor, acceleration sensor, force the tercu, pressure the sensor, flow the sensor, and temperature sensor. This is micro nano sensor. Sensor and actuator for the important the electromechanical actuator, DC or AC, and then the stepper motor, piezo electronic actuator, pneumatic, and the hydraulic actuator. This is the component for the computer and logic system, digital logic, communication system, this software Arduino, foul detection, logic system design. This is this design a concept of mechatronic, pure mechatronic system, and integrated mechatronic system. Require the steady modeling procedure. And then future of the mechatronic advance in the application of MEMS, but while the prototyping and testing for the project, small product development for the launch the project, and development of the intelligent system, a smart home, the application, it's the dishwasher, vacuum cleaner, microwaves, and then measurement for the characteristic is important: range, difference, resolution, accuracy, appreciation, and the sensitivity, and the zero offset. And then linearity presented of the division form the best linear and the calibration curve, and then the zero drive and the response time, the time lag between in the input and output, the range of the resolution, You know that the temperature and the for the example, the term called resolution, the resolution of the analog sensor, and the sensitivity for the dynamic range of the total range. Sensor sensitivity is defined into the change output per unit and then per unit. The sensitivity of digital sensor is closely related to the resolutions. Trial and error bias for the for types trial and error, bias of systematic error, precision of the random errors. Now the repeatability then the reproducibility, a measurement system must first be accurate, precise, and repeatable before it can be reproducible, and the precision of a random error and cause. The accuracy very important for the project or Arduino. Accuracy, precision, repeatability. This is the picture for the equations. And saturation for the signaling saturation or real the actuator have some maximum output capability regardless for the input. This is the sample for the component. And then the basic principle of sensor transductions and the measurement parameter conversion device used full signal and displacement for temperature. And then the sensor positional sensor, the potentiometer, FDT, and encoder. You know that the potentiometer is the signaling for a rotatory potentiometer variable resistant device, and that can be measurement the angular positions. And this is the component for the potentiometer. And linear variable different transform for the FDT, AC, DC, and a linear variable difference transformer. You can the primary coil and the section output and the input. And the encoder, digital optical encoder, absolute the digital optical, incremental digital optical. And then the digital optical encoder is the systematic diagram, the basic diagram, the basic structure, incremental encoder for the with the conventional code this simple rotary encoder for the time, and quadrilateral encoder, and then the binary encoder, and then the gray code encoder, and then the absolute encoder for the mixed, the fixed sensor, absolute encoder, gray, the incremental encoder, the proximity sensor. Proximity sensor for the important, the optical, identitive, and the capacitive. Now, the proximity sensor for the voltage, you know the voltage for the proximity sensor for balancing. And then the application for this proximity sensor, in this the component for the sensor. The inductive the proximity sensor detect the metal object and use the electronic magnetic field and to detect the conductive the target. The inductive for the proximity sensor, you can know the inductive, the sensing for the target, the change, and the reluctance and magnetic circuit system of scaling frequency, and which they get the left behind when the natural frequencies. Now that the capacity proximity sensor, this is the picture. Capacity proximity sensor, this is the gap and the target, the ground, with now the formula for the proximity sensor. The motion sensor variable tense the sensors. This magnetic sensor create the magnetic file. Variable rate tense the sensor, and then thermocouples, and this the sys back the avenge the sys back the heats. The contraction of thermocouples, the grounded, expands, the ungrounded. And then the types for the thermocouples. The thermocouples material use the temperature range. Then selection thermocouples, you can follow criteria: temperature range, chemical resistance, abrasion, and vibration stand, and installation requirement. Distance, the temperature, the director LTD, you can be platinum lead, all the linear, and the advance of the platinum SARTD, limited of the RTD. You know the important, this is the system device, the comparison for the thermocouple versus the RTD. You know the weakness and the and then the force the versus the sensor. The strength gauge based on the variation and the resistance of the conductor, the electric resistance of the wire having length, the sections, and resistivity. The strength gauge tends cause the resistance increase. Bonded strength gauge. The strength gauge and type. This is the type, so the semiconductor, then the form strength. Strength gauge, for example, you can suppose the test specimen undergoes the strength. Strength gauge the circuit for the circuit picture. And then the formula for the strength gauge circuit, the quarter bridge formulanya, the effect of the temperature and output and gauge. The temperature comparisons by using two gauge electromagnetic formula for the flow sensor. This is the electromagnetic flow sensor. Is the liquid move through and the file through the file with the average velocity. This is stepper motor. Is this discrete the positioning the device move and the step at the time for each unit. The appropriate existence in the winding makes the rotor attract toward the starter. In the stepper motor picture for the algorithm flow. Can then this is the servo motor, the algorithm. You know that for the parameter and the electrical DC or AC. And then the servo motor pictures the servo mechanism, the algorithm, the consists of the precision sensor, potential encoder, gear, mechanism, and intelligent circuitry. This is the solenoid algorithm for the electronic magnetic actuator. Consists of the movable ferrite core that the activated by current flow. This is a reference digital book about the mechatronics and mechatronic. You can know the William Button, this link for the Google Drive and the mechatronic with experience, mechatronic system fundamental. You can know the book. Okay, I can share again for the my book. Okay.
It was the
Thank you so
last
much.
slide.
Okay, thank you. This is the last slide.
Okay, what about the questions? Should they be put in the chat box, or can we ask you just via microphone?
Yes, example of the question with the chat box, or just tell me.
Mm-hmm.
You can write your question in the chat box.
Thank you. So, dear colleagues, dear students, please, in case you have some question, just put it in the chat box and send to our professor.
Thank you so much for attention. If you have a question, you can chat box. I can contact WhatsApp or email.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so by the way, thank you very much for sharing the links with us. It definitely will be used. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. My name is Sergey Alexeyenko. I'm a head of mechatronic department of our university. And first of all, I would like to say thank you for your very interesting lecture. I would like to say that we have some similar projects in mechatronics sphere. Maybe in future, it would be interesting to have some common projects, maybe some collaboration project between our universities in sphere of mechatronics. And if it is possible, I'm ready to discuss maybe some further steps or to discuss some ideas about that.
Okay, you can collaboration a project with the mechatronic. Can you chat me in the chat box for the detail?
Maybe I can send my email, and after
Okay,
that,
okay.
maybe. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, in this the chat box, the question for the Mr. Bagus Setiawan permission to ask what things are the studied in the mechatronic engineering, and then the mechatronic engineering for the example you can you can make the project for the industry, for the idea, your idea, and then you can run for the mechatronic the math course linear algebra, calculus, and then the mechatronic engineering includes for the course related to design and the building of the robots and the other software to control it, or the autonomous mechanical device, and then the combined areas for the mechanical, electrical, electronic, computer, and software engineering. You can make the robot design of the device and the product with use this technology to function for the industry in 4.0, but the including cars in this the electronic car, and then the machine tools industry, aircraft system, and the robotic vacuum cleaner, and the sample project for the cleaners for the mechatronic. You now seriously at the mechatronics is itself the actuality, the multidiscipline study between the mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and the programming. Studying mechatronics is this the best way for to prepare yourself and to be the excellence well the balance engineer and the standard mechatronic teaching and the design based learning and project based learning system. Mechatronic curriculum is more the emphasis on the teaching system based on the Siemens mechatronic, Siemens mechatronic certification program. Almost all the subject out by giving the general mechatronic system by means of a system approach that the more detailed lesson learned of the corresponding topic component as well as the fundamental analysis will be brought up as a part of overall system. You will run how to design and the manufacture the project, troubleshoot, solve, and the analysis the problem. Thank you. This is my answer for Mr. Bagus Setiawan in this chatbot.
Thank you. There is another question from Natalia Kondrachuk. She's our professor from Faculty of Chemistry. Good day. Do you have designs for restaurants, waiter robots? Thanks. So what do you think about such a possibility to use mechatronics aspects in maybe food technology, in restaurants, and so on?
Okay. Okay. Sample for the question in the chat box for the N-key, and this the good day. Do you have design for the restaurant waiter robots? And then I know the design for restaurant waiter robot. Yeah, for design I know you can that robot waiters, ya, robot waiters for in this area, in this digital 4.0 digital robot waiter for the make the coffee and then make the coffee and then the China robot with the preparation for the food, and this is
do you mean to say something like advanced coffee mill and so on, yeah? Plus optimization of, I don't know, but yeah, we understand. So it's maybe in a coffee, like coffee machine can be used, yes?
Coffee machine. Yes, it's coffee machine is the waiter robots for the preparation the coffee. And then the preparation and then the food, the waiter robots for the
so
delivery for the food, and then the delivery and drink for the waiter in the restaurants. You can be the algorithm you for the next presentation. I know the project sample the waiter robots.
Thank you. And finally, there is the question from Galina Sokol. Tell us, please, about sound systems in mechatronics systems. What about the sound systems? How can we use it?
Okay.
Right. Okay, I know my answer for the question. Tell you, please your second about sound system in the mechatronic system. Okay. The sound system for the mechatronic, when the measuring sound is an listening rooms, and the linear deviation in the magnitude over the frequency band is mostly far more than the factor 2 in power 3 dB, while the nonlinear distortions remain at the best just around 1% in a minus 40 dB. The reason of the dramatic difference in performance between the audio and the high-tech domain can partly be explained by the hug difference in the cost that is allowed to be spent in both the technology area. But that is not the whole story. In the fact, due to the ignorance of the average customer and the commercial target for the industry, the consumer side of the audio world is more and the more dominated by visually perceived value and marketing rather than by real acoustic value. Most the loudspeaker elements that are the so in even a Prestagos, the system have a real cost level of the only a few to maximum a few tens of euros. In contrast, the cable performance of the system, this lack of real acoustic value in the cause in this case by effect the same the electric current that plain single standard copper with a much higher resistance. In ductance, the capacity tends the value, then the exotic cables and between, and then the printed circuit boards of the amplifier are even not mentioned. We are the current to has to pass the copper the foil of the less than the 35 the micrometer thick and on 1 millimeter wide. This is the audio system sounds better when it is higher cost level, and this the phenomenon is special clear with cables. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank you
your
very much.
lecture.
Thank you very much.
So it seems there are no questions here. So let me thank you again for your lecture, for your presentation, for your answers, for your time. So dear colleagues, dear M.Kom University, thank you very much for arranging that event. We were glad to see all of you, and dear participants, thank you. So hope for further fruitful cooperation, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for Dnipro, Mechatronics, the moderator, and thank you so much for the university, Oles, the Honchar, the Dnipro, National, the University of Ukraine. Will be peace for your love.
Thank you.